よし。
ダブルヘルプ、2つのゼノは悟空を助けます。
What if Goku pressed the button Zeno gave him again? A lot would be different in the present day, as obvious as it may seem. The fact that there are two Zenos currently in the same timeline. A lot would be different from the time he pressed when it was in the Zamasu saga. I'm going to tell you this story, so prepare a snack, something light so you don't get fat. A portion of salami with lemon is perfect. Settle down, get comfortable, and come with me. And well folks, there are currently two Zenos in the same timeline. At the time Goku used the button for the first time there was still only one Zeno, which was from the future, the timeline in which Goku was, so the button worked only with the Zeno of that time. But now, would the button work? Well, this is very simple to solve. My deduction is that the button works, because Goku used it to go to Zeno's palace to remind him of the Tournament of Power, and at that time there were already two Zenos, but that time Goku used the button to go to Zeno, so we can't say with 100% certainty that the button would work to call Zeno to him. But my hypothesis remains positive. The button works both ways, both to call Zeno and to go and tell him, with the only difference that if Goku summons Zeno with him, the two existing Zenos in the current timeline will appear, you know? I'm not entirely sure about that. I want to make it very clear that this is 80% correct, because it's hard to say exactly when we know that Goku never used the button to summon Zeno after he brought the second Zeno from the future. But in theory, what would happen if he called the two Zenos currently to defeat the former time Kaioshin, Aos? That wouldn't be any good. If future Zeno ever found Zamasu merging with the universe irritating, then imagine how he would feel to see that they are manipulating spacetime, and on top of that erasing universes without his consent, like he himself said in the future. A world like that had to disappear, and this leads me to believe that he would take the same attitude in the spacetime tournament. And a very important detail that I forgot to mention, I want to make it clear that I'm talking about Super Dragon Ball heroes here, okay? As obvious as it may seem, some people can get confused and think that all this happens in Dragon Ball Super. This is very common to happen, and although I think it's possible that Goku uses the button again in Dragon Ball Super to defeat Gas, this is not the focus of this video, but we can leave it to comment on this another time. What I want to get is that using the button in Super Dragon Ball Heroes would result in the destruction of everything, and it would be much worse than what happened in Trunks' future. Because now we are talking about space and time, exactly, the whole story we know of Dragon Ball, along with all the famous characters would cease to exist, forever, would be erased, would be reduced to dust. So I think it's too risky Goku to press this button in the current situation. It's not recommended at all. He has to find a way to solve this himself, and we all know he is capable. He will find an alternative. There are several plausible ways for Aos to be defeated. Despite her being able to manipulate time and erase universes, I believe she is not invincible. As I said before, it is possible that Goku can borrow it from Zeno. It is much less risky for him to do that, not to mention that for that he would only need to use the button to go to him, so Zeno wouldn't know what's going on and would lend power to Goku. And this is possible in Dragon Ball, because the god of destruction Sidra lent power to his henchmen to destroy the warriors of Universe 7, thus weakening the team and increasing their chances of victory, a very dirty blow that luckily didn't work. Anyway, it's possible that Zeno lends power to Goku in the same way that Sidra lent it to his henchmen. I would say that the chances of this happening are 14%, but it is a possibility, and if you want to understand more about this theory, I will leave a card above with two videos that explain very well how this whole plan would run. Another way for Aos to be defeated is if all the warriors broke the tournament rules and teamed up against her, but this is almost impossible, as Aos is not alone in this. She has her henchmen, who from what we've seen are tough and difficult to defeat. Then it wouldn't be so easy. The tournament participants' chances of winning would be 2%. We have to remember that almost nothing would work against Aos, as she can freeze time, so a Genki Dama, for example, would also be useless. But don't worry, it's not the end yet. There is a way for Aos to be defeated. Can you imagine how? As I imagined, I believe that few realized that the current Kaioshin of time is present in the tournament of space-time, and she is the only one capable of defeating Eos and ending the tournament. That's because if she is the current Kaioshin of time, she is probably more powerful than Eos. I would say that the chances of this theory being correct are at 33%, yet we must imagine how all this would happen. After all, the current Kaioshin of time is a spectator of the tournament, so it's hard to say if she's Ao's ally or enemy. I won't rule out the chances of them working together, despite her opposing Aos in the first episode of the saga. Maybe she had no choice but to let Aos do the tournament, because she was cornered. As much as she may be superior to Aos, she couldn't face her with her henchmen at the same time, you know? That's why she didn't stop the tournament from happening, but for sure she will be involved in Aos' defeat, in some way, because the only way for Aos to be defeated is if someone with the same powers as her, or superiors, confronts her. I want to know what you guys think about it. This video is ending. Don't forget to rate and comment if possible. A big hug to all the best always. See you later. Bye.